a story of perseverance in the pool. A young swimmer paralyzed in her prime won't let her disability stop her from going for the gold. Jeff Olson of our Minneapolis affiliate KARE has the story.
At first glance, you probably don't even see what makes Mallory different from the other swimmers in this race. It's not until Mallory gets out of the pool that her challenge becomes clear.
That's almost her best time.
Mallory can't walk.
She had the shingles, and then after the shingles went away, it was left with this other, well, I'll call it a disease. It was called post-herpetic neuralgia, which was the inflammation of the nerve endings.
An inflammation Mallory had treated with a series of epidural injections.
She would have the epidural, would numb up, and then it would go away in the course of an hour or two. Well, the third time she had it done, it numbed up and it never unnumbed.
We spent a lot of time researching.
But nothing changed.
At some point, you just have to live your life.
Mallory was done with why me and ready for what now?
The question brought her here to the U of M Aquatic Center, where Paralympic athletes were in training for the Beijing Games. What she saw in the pool made the former high school swimmer wonder, could she be competitive again?
What 20-year-old Mallory and her Twin Cities swim team coach Jim Anderson have done is totally reinvent her swimming technique.
Take your mark.
From the way she enters the water, to how Mallory makes a turn, to when she takes a breath.
If I can keep my breath and hold it, I can just go through the water like this, versus when I breathe, I kind of teeter-tot.
Not just winning races, Mallory's already setting Paralympic records.
I broke the American record in the 100 fly.
No longer defined by her challenges, Mallory intends to be known for her achievements.
I want the podium. I want a gold medal.
Despite what's happened to her, limits just aren't Mallory's style.
Doors close and doors open, but you have to just be willing to look in the right places.
And Mallory Weggemann joins us in studio along with her parents, Chris and Ann. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Mallory, I want to start with you because your records are so impressive. We heard about some of them there. You claimed the World Paralympic swimming records in the 100 fly, the 50, 200, and 400 freestyle. You just flew in from a meet in Canada. Forget what we think. Are you surprised with how much you've been able to accomplish thus far?
I am. I set my goals and I wanted world records eventually, but I didn't think it would come this soon. So I'm very, very happy with this past weekend and still kind of in a little bit of shock.
A little bit.
It's, yeah.
Starting to sink in slowly?
Slowly.
Good. And I want to ask you this. Originally, doctors said that eventually Mallory would get feeling back in her legs. A day turned into a week, which turned into a month. What was that waiting period like for you to have to wait and see whether she'd be able to walk again?
Usually every night before I went to bed, I hoped and prayed that in the morning I would either go to her or when she was even in the hospital and find that she was able to move and that it wasn't real. And then at some point the time goes on and you just start thinking about, okay, where can you go from here, and want to move forward.
And Mallory, after about 3 months, I understand you were angry, you were feeling sorry for yourself. You decided to join your sister at a Paralympic swim meet, and it was there that you said, you know what, enough with this feeling sorry for myself. I want to get back in the water. What made you come to that decision?
You know, when I went to the meet, I really had no idea about the Paralympics, and I got there, I was kind of expecting to see amputees and other people with physical disabilities. I really wasn't expecting to see paraplegics swimming, and when I saw that paraplegics could swim, I was just, I wanted back in the pool. I mean, I went down to meet the coaches, and when I got on the pool deck, I had to get in and race again. I absolutely love it, and when I finally got back on a pool deck again, I realized how bad I missed it.
Because you were a swimmer. You were a swimmer before this happened.
Yeah.
You know the water very well.
Yes, I do.
And Dad, Chris, let me turn to you here. When Mallory first told you she wanted to get back in the water, I understand you were nervous. You thought, well, what if she sinks? I mean, what's going to happen? How surprised are you that not only did she get back in and do well, look what she's been able to do.
You know, when she got in the water that first time, it was it was unbelievable to see it. And to this day, I still thoroughly enjoy watching her in the water. It's absolutely fantastic.
Doesn't make you nervous at all?
Doesn't make me nervous, no. She does
Proud.
very, very well.
Okay. And Mallory, I know you dream of being able to walk again one day, but you did say you wouldn't change any of that for what's happened in the last year and a half. Why do you think that? Why do you feel that way?
You know, I think everything happens for a reason, and bad things happen, but at the end of the day, I still do believe that there's a reason for all of it. And if this wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I mean, it's changed me in a lot of ways, and yeah, what happened is, it kind of sucks, you know, sometimes, but it is what it is.
And real quick, your goal is to swim at the 2012 Paralympic Games in
Yes.
London. What would medaling over there mean to you?
Oh gosh, it'd mean the world. I want the podium so bad. I want a gold medal. That's what I want, and that's what I'm working really hard at trying to get. So.
Well, if the next few years are anything like the last year and a half has been, I have a lot of confidence in you. Thank you all so much for joining us, Mallory, Chris, and Ann Weggemann. We really appreciate you being with us. Very inspirational story. Thank you, and we'll be back. But first, these messages.